Inflation is supposed to hurt everyone. Prices go up, wages go up, rent goes up, materials cost more. And for millions of businesses, that's exactly what happens. But here's the question nobody asks. When inflation hits, does every business actually lose? Today, we're putting one real company on trial. Real numbers, real financial filings, and a decision you're going to make yourself, right alongside the company. The defendant is Chipotle. Between 2021 and 2023, Chipotle faced the same inflationary pressures affecting restaurants across the economy. Food costs were rising, labor costs were rising, and operating a restaurant was becoming more expensive. Now imagine you're running the financial side of this business. Your costs are rising across the board. You have a decision to make. Do you raise your menu prices and risk losing customers who are also feeling the squeeze? Or do you hold your prices, protect your customer base, and accept lower margins? Make your decision. Here's what actually happened. Chipotle chose to raise prices, but raising prices is only half the story. The real question is whether customers would stay, and that's where the numbers become interesting. In the fourth quarter of 2021, Chipotle's restaurant-level operating margin was 20.2%. 1 year later, in the fourth quarter of 2022, that figure had climbed to 24.0%, and by the fourth quarter of 2023, it had reached 25.4%. So despite facing inflationary pressure on food and labor costs, Chipotle's restaurant-level operating margin increased over that period. But why? The answer appears to be pricing power. Chipotle didn't simply raise prices and hope for the best. The company was able to increase prices while continuing to attract customers. Transactions themselves increased by 4.1% during the period we're examining. That matters, because raising prices is easy. Raising prices while keeping customers is much harder. If a restaurant raises prices by 10% and loses a large portion of its customers, the strategy can backfire. But if customers continue to come through the doors, the business may be able to offset some of its rising costs. And that's exactly what makes pricing power so important during inflation. But there's a catch. Chipotle wasn't immune to inflation. The company continued to face higher costs for ingredients and labor. Beef, tortillas, dairy, and other inputs were all subject to inflationary pressure. So this isn't a story about a business escaping inflation. It's a story about a business that appears to have had enough pricing power and customer demand to respond to that pressure. And that's the real dividing line. There is no such thing as a completely inflation-proof business. But some businesses have more options than others. Some can raise prices without losing too many customers. Some have strong brands that keep customers coming back. Some have high margins that give them room to absorb rising costs, and others don't have that flexibility. So here's the business verdict. Inflation doesn't automatically create winners and losers. Instead, it exposes the strengths and weaknesses that already exist inside a business. If your costs rise, but you have no room to increase prices, your margins can come under serious pressure. But if you can raise prices while maintaining customer demand, you may